What's up, YouTube? So we're back in the shop. It's kind of a mess right now, you'll see. We're kind of tackling the pan. We're going to pull the suspension. For me, this is the night before Memorial Day, Sunday. So I'm going to pull off that suspension. And we're going to take this pan, we're going to flip it over, we're going to paint the bottom, or clean it, then we're going to paint the bottom. We're going to clean up those edges around the floorboards, and then we'll retexture the top. That's about it. Let's jump into it. So sorry guys, I meant to give you more commentary as we went along. The suspension came off just so fast, I just didn't think about stopping. It's amazing how simple a Volkswagen is. The transmission's off, front suspension came off as one whole unit. We got this pan up on these sawhorses, and you saw we rolled it over. Give me a sec, I'll jump behind the camera and we'll go look up close to see what we got to do here. So guys, on this driver's pan, you can see here, they just cut out the old pan bottom when they did this shortening, and they put in this new one, but they left some of this old scrap around. So we're going to come through here, we're going to cut this off, we're going to clean up these edges, and we'll just grind these around smooth, and then with either Bondo or seam sealer around here just so it's a smooth surface. But it's all good metal, and these are new pan bottoms that they put in. And then we'll jump over to the passenger side. Yeah, so I lied. That was the passenger side we just looked at. I got it flipped and I was reversed. So this one is the driver's side. That was passenger. It looks like it had rusted out, I guess, from the battery box being there. So we're looking at the driver's side. That's one. This one still has the original pan instead of a patch bottom like that one. We got to clean up a few edges here. This one's actually a lot cleaner. We'll just clean up stuff like that and around these edges, and seam sealer or Bondo. We'll see which one I have here at the shop. And that's about it. So we've given each pan side a once over, the front a once over. Still have to do the back, but there's entirely too much dust in here, and I wasn't wearing hearing protection, so my ears are kind of ringing because I'm an idiot. So I'm going to call it a night here, and we'll jump back into it tomorrow. So back out here next morning, we're going to clean up the rear now. Just give it a once over on those rear spring plates and everything back there. I don't actually have any cutting wheels out here, so I'm waiting until brother gets here with the cutting wheels, and then we'll cut off that excess on those pans, and we'll give everything a once over again. So just finished the first pass and cleaning up all these edges. I think actually everything is small enough I can do it with seam sealer at this point. We cut off a lot of this. There's that big nasty triangle that was there before. We just cleaned up all these edges just so they're a little shorter. There's still a little bit of roughness here, in this corner here, but this has been patched from the top. So we'll probably smooth this out, seam seal. I may still do some cutting in here and then seam seal these edges. But I'm actually really happy with how this turned out, and we'll jump over to the other pan. So after spending like 6 or 8 hours cleaning this thing, I have decided I'm just going to go get my sandblaster and use like that crushed walnut or whatever, because this is taking entirely too long and I'll never be able to get all the cracks and crevices like I want unless I do get the sandblaster. So crushed walnut, here we come. So guys, as you can see, we've wrestled the pan outside, and of course it's dark at this point, but we're going to see how much we can do with this light. As you can see, the sandblaster's over there, compressor's inside, and we'll see how this goes. Let's jump into it. So what had started as we'll just give it a quick power wash and a clean and then we'll paint it, has devolved into we're going to wire brush it, we're going to sand it, and now we're down to sandblasting. You've seen I've already sandblasted it. and it was originally just going to be the bottom. Now I'm going to give the top a quick sand, because what's going to happen is we're going to do an epoxy primer over the whole thing, and then we're going to Raptor line it all. And I didn't want to just do the bottom and say, the top already had texture, because it doesn't look like the texture job was done to par on top. Like, it wasn't bad, but a few spots were peeling. So we're going to clean up the top now. And this video is probably getting kind of long at this point, but we're going to retexture everything. We're going to use a good quality epoxy primer, 2-part, and we're going to go through this whole pan. So this is now diving into the top, trying to get off that old bed liner and see how this goes. Hopefully we don't have to pull the sandblaster back out, which is actually sitting next to me, but hopefully we don't have to use it again on the top, but we'll see how it goes. So I was hoping I could sand this texture smooth on the top of pans. Once I got in there with the belt sander, it was either stripping it down to bare metal, or it's just too many shapes, too many angles. It just wasn't going to work. So I pulled out the brush head again, but it was stripping it off. And if it came off that easy, I wanted to take it off anyways. So we're going to be sandblasting the top. So I got a few more bags of media on the way, but it should be fun. That's a lie. It's not going to be fun, but it's going to be right. So we're going to dive into that, sandblast the top as well now. What's up? So 5th day of the quick clean. We finished top and bottom fully sandblasted, so the whole pan is sandblasted at this point. Today we're coming back to clean up those seals. We're using Magnum steel, which is an epoxy putty that turns rock hard, and it actually has bonding capability, so it's going to bond those pans together to hold them in place so we don't have vibration issues, which I haven't noticed any vibration issues, but just to be safe. But this will seal the seams. This is sandable. It's epoxy based, so we can put it on bare metal. It won't trap in moisture like Bondo would. So I think it is a great solution. We're going to clean up some edges, and you can watch as we do that. So as you can see, it's pretty nasty down there. So we're going to take that little wireless Dremel. I guess it's wired. Non-corded. Cordless? I guess we'll call it cordless. Cordless Dremel, and clean up that area. So guys, I probably should have shown this first, but this is a before photo. They had sliced those corners and then slid the pan down in there and just never cleaned up the welds afterwards. So what you just saw was the putty in there, and I'll kind of show you the befores and afters in a sec. So guys, here's a after photo of that corner. Turned out really nice, really smooth. We still got a little bit on those welds to do, but it looks good. I'm happy with it so far, and we'll clean it up a little more. So guys, I'm shooting this with the GoPro, so I apologize for the sound difference. But coming in here looking at this pan, you've already seen what it looked like before. We're using that epoxy putty, or what they call like steel putty. Sealed all those edges, as you can see in the video before this. Really thrilled with how it came out. Really clean and unbelievably strong. So for example, I'm going to come over to this pan. If y'all remember, there was a hole. Where was it? Here. This was a hole through this pan. I'm applying enough pressure that my finger is turning red. You can see the discoloration of my thumb, and it is still stuck right in there. Truly amazing how strong this stuff is. But I cleaned up this whole edge because it was pretty nasty. I cut off some of this corner and rebuilt this. Don't know if you remember this from the original video. But overall, these floorboards look way better than they did before. Just to give you a quick look at it. It looks a lot cleaner. A lot cleaner over here. And what I use for this is actually the Ryobi variable speed, where's that head? Battery powered Dremel. And I didn't know how useful this thing was going to be, but it's part of a 4-pack battery thing. You got a free tool. And I was like, yeah, having a remote Dremel would be nice at times. But man, it is a lifesaver. It is so fantastic. It's variable speed. It has slots for all the heads if you want. I got a little 4-amp battery on it. And this dude lasted probably an hour or 2 of continual running at high speed. So, fantastic tool. I'll drop a link in the description for that one.
What's up, YouTube? So this is where we're going to call it on the first part of the pan episode because it is getting a bit long. Next time we'll be back in here, we're going to clean all that flash rust, we're going to prime it, and then we'll Raptor line it. If you want to join the Chubby Tribe, be sure to hit subscribe. Thanks for watching.